Hello everyone, welcome to SM Tech World. Today we are going to solve another LeetCode problem named longest valid parenthesis. So basically you can say it's a hard level problem. So let's try to understand the problem statement first. Then we will try to implement couple of solutions for the same. Okay, so what they are saying here, that we will be given one string and our input string will contain only two characters, that is a opening braces and a closing braces, correct? So okay, fine. Now suppose this is our given input string where we have two opening braces and one closing brace. So here I can see in this case we have only one subset, that is this one, right, and where the length is 2. So that means in this case our longest valid parenthesis is 2. Fine. Now if you go to the second example, so here you can see identify that this here is this is 4 here, right? Here we can find longest valid parenthesis of size 4, like this one. Okay, so similarly if it is blank, then we need to return 0. So I think it's pretty self-explanatory and pretty straightforward, the problem description. Okay, so let's try to see how we can solve it. So we know that we can solve that, we can easily identify whether a particular parenthesis or string is a valid or not using stack. So we will try to see at first that how we can solve the same problem using stack, then we will try to optimize the same. Okay, and what is the brute force approach here? So we can generate all the possible subset and then we can check, but in that case it will be order of n square. But using stack, if we use some optimized logic, then we can easily solve it in linear time. We will see that first. Okay, so let's consider this example only, right? So suppose our example is like this, correct? So we will use stack, and what we will do, so we suppose I found any opening braces, I will insert the index 0. If again I see opening braces, I will insert, again our index will become 1, and whenever I will see any closing braces, I will remove. This is the logic, right, to find out the valid one. So after removing, then I will so I remove only one, the first one, right? So that means we found one valid parenthesis, that is size of 2, correct? We will take one max variable and where we will keep updating our max till now. So initially it will be 0 and I can say I found one valid parenthesis that is size of 2. So again now my stack will look like this 0. Now again I will come here, the last one, right? Here again it's a closing braces, that means we found another valid parenthesis, right? So again we can say it's now 4. Okay, so we will use same logic here, but we will just tweak it. So we need to calculate the length, right, and all. So and there can be some scenario like it will start with closing braces, it can look like this also, right? So we will slightly modify our logic. We will take one stack, we will insert a default value, that is 1. Okay, so suppose I found a closing braces, I will remove it because it's not a valid, and we will update the last seen closing braces there. Okay, that is 0. So let's try to dry run our example for this string, right, like this. So we will take one stack, initially it will be -1, then I will see it's a closing braces, I will remove the first one, the initial value, and I will update it with its current index. So current index is 0. Fine. Now again I can say it's a opening braces. Now I need to push it, right? Now I will push the index 1, value will be 1. Now I can say it is the closing braces, that means I will pop it. Fine. So after popping it out, that means whenever I am popping out and I see my stack is not empty, because stack still have one value, right, 0. Now I can see I can say safely that I found one valid parenthesis. Now I need to just check the length. Okay, so I can now, so whenever I am popping it, I can easily check the length, right? So it will be my current I value minus my last value in the stack, or last found value in the stack. Okay, so using this approach we can easily solve it in linear time using linear space. So let's quickly see the code for the same. So I am going to use Java today, so let's see the same, then we will see the other approaches also, if there is any other approach. Okay, so we will declare one stack first, let us name it as stack only, and let's quickly initialize the same. It should be an integer, we are going to store index here, right? So it will be integer always. And fine. Now what next? We need one variable, let's name it as max length, something like this, and it will be initially 0. Now we will run one for loop and we will pick each and every braces one by one, right? So we need to take one temporary variable I, and it will run till I less than s dot length. Fine. Now I plus plus. Okay. Then I will check whether it's a opening braces or not, right? So if I see if my s, so since we are using Java, so in Java we have one inbuilt method called char@. Basically it will return the particular character in a given index. So we will check what is the current character now, and if I see it is a opening braces, then we can push the index in our stack. So it should be stack dot push, and we will push the index here, right? That is I. And we also forget to do one thing. We need to push one default value initially, right? It should be stack dot push, and default value would be -1 initially. Okay, fine. Now else what we will do, if I say it's a closing braces, we are going to remove the last element, right? So we will remove stack dot pop. Okay, so since we inserted one default value, so in case if we found like this, right, initially we found one closing braces, that will this will not throw instruction because our stack will at least contain one default value, that is -1. Now I will check if after removing, if my stack is empty. If I see my stack is after popping out the value, if my stack is empty, then that's not a valid one, right? So we can't get the length. So I will check if my stack is empty. So we can use isEmpty inbuilt method, and now we can easily, if I see it is empty, then we are going to insert the current index. Okay, so it should be stack dot push, and it should be I. Okay, so it should be empty. Fine. Now else, that means it's a valid one. Now I need to calculate the length. So we can update our max length variable. Fine, and it will be math dot max. It will be my earlier max length value, now my current max length value, that is be I minus the top element or top index in our stack. We know the stack is last in first out. So we can use stack dot peak method. So peak will not remove or we will not pop anything. It will just return the top value of the top. Okay. So this will give us the current length, okay, of a given subset, of a given valid subset, and once we are done, we can easily return max length. Okay, I think that's pretty much for this approach. Let's quickly run our code and see whether it's compiling or not. Then we will try to analyze the time and space complexity of this approach. So let's quickly submit the same and see. So you can see our solution is accepted, and in this case I can see that we are running one for loop. We are not using any nested for loop. So in this case our time complexity will be linear, that is order of n, where n is the size of the string or number of characters in the string. And if you say about the space complexity, yeah, we are using stack. So in some cases or in worst case scenario, we need to use all, we need a stack of size n. Okay, so suppose I have one string like this, right? So everything is opening braces only, right? Something like this. So in this case, so if I see everything is opening braces, then our size will be obviously a maximum size of stack will be n. Okay, so in case of space complexity, it is still order of n. Time is also order of n. Now we will see whether we can solve it without using any extra spaces. Yeah, time will remain same for our next approach, but we will try to identify some solution where we can easily solve it without using any extra stack. So let's see the same. Okay, so let's quickly take new. Okay, so fine. So suppose our given example look like this, correct? So here I can identify the total valid length is 6 here, right? Because we have two subsets, it is 2 here and another is it's 4 here. So it will give us 2 plus 4, that is 6. So in this case our answer should be 6. But let's see how we can get the answer 6 without using extra spaces. Okay, so let's look, it will look like this. Let's take it once again, and now here we were going to take two variables, one is left, another one is right. So we are not using any stack, but we will take help of two variables, left and right. Now we will scan our input string from left to right, then again we will scan right to left. For a moment, just forget the second one, just consider on this example. So in this example we can easily identify in one for loop only, right? Means if we scan it from left to right or right to left, we will get our answer. But to handle some other edge cases or other scenarios, we need to scan it twice, once left to right, right to left, then we will get our answer. But just now consider on left to right for this example only. Okay. So what we will do, again we will take another variable, that is max, that will initially be 0. Okay. Now we initially my two value left and right will be initially 0, and whenever I will see any opening braces, I will update my left, I will increment my left variable with 1. So I will come here, and again here I can see it's opening braces, so I will update L with 1. Now L is incremented to 1. Now again I can see, I will come to the second position, again here I can see it's a closing. So in case of closing, we are going to update the right. So in each iteration I will check if my L equals to R, that means this is a valid parenthesis. Okay. So you can see initially L will be 0, R will be 0, my first character is opening 1, my left will become 1, R will still remain 0, means we are yet to find a valid parenthesis. Now I will increment my I, it will come to the second position, here I can see it's a closing 1. So my R will become 1. Now I can say, okay, L is also 1, R is also 1, that means it's a valid one, and we will update our max variable with, now my value will be 2, length will be 2. Now again we will move forward, again I will come here, here I can see, okay, so it's again opening 1, so I will update my L with, I will increment my L with 1. So now L will become 2. Now again I can see, again it is opening, so now my L will become 3. Correct. Now my L will become 3. So now again I will come here, here I can see it's a closing 1, so my now R will become 2. Now again I will come to the last character, that is a closing 1, now R will become 3. Now again I can see L and R is equal, that means we found another valid parenthesis. In this case our length is 6, total 1, right. So we will update our variable with max variable with 6, and that is our answer. So whenever we will see any string with all valid combination, then one iteration is sufficient. So using one iteration we can easily identify, okay, that whether it's valid or not. But suppose your input is like this, just consider like this, your input is 3 opening and 1 closing, then we can't identify it using left, right. So whatever approach we discussed earlier, this approach is not applicable for this example, right. If we scan left to right, let's scan it, right. L is 0 initially, R is also 0, and our max is also 0 for this example. Okay. So now I can see, I will come here, it is opening, so I will update my L, again it is opening, I will update my L, again it is opening, I will update my L, so my L will be 3. Now again I can see now R, now I will increment my R, now it will be 1. But I can see there is no scenario that L is equals to star, so we are not able to identify using left to right approach. But if I apply the same logic from right to left, then we can easily identify, right. So logic will remain same, but we will start from the right side, or from the end of our string. So again I can see initially L will be 0 for right to left, okay, R will be 0, I can see 1 closing braces, so my R will become 1, then I can see 1 opening braces, now my L will become 1, again I can see L and R is equal, so that means we found one valid and our max will become 2. Now again I can see that again I will come here, again it is L, so L will become 2, then like this, correct. Now L will become 3. So we are not able to find anything till now. Okay. So in this case our answer will remain 2. So you know the thing, right. So why we are taking this thing, basically why we are doing why we are running two for loop, one is left from right, another one is right to left. Okay. So let's quickly write the code for the same, that will surely give you much better understanding, and then again we will discuss. So as I told you, we are going to take two variable, one is left, another one is right. So initially both will be in 0, fine. So basically these are, you can think like a 2 pointer, so left pointer, right pointer. Now we need another variable called max, fine. Now it will be initially 0, again we will run for loop, and we will start int I equals to 0, I should be less than equals to my string length, similar thing, right, and I plus plus, correct. Now I will check that if my s dot caret, it is the opening one, caret I is equals to opening braces, then we are going to increment our left. So, it should be plus left, and if I see it's else, if that means it's a closing one, it will be plus right. Fine. Now, we will check if my left is equals to right, that means we found one valid parenthesis, right. So, it should be, we will update our max length variable. So, we will update our max length, it should be math dot max, my earlier max length and my current length. So, how you can find out the current length? It will be 2 into either left or right. You can pick any one. You can consider left or you can consider right, because it's left equals to our right. So, let us take left here, and this will update our max. And we will check another thing, that if I see that right is greater than my left. So, whenever I am traversing to left to right, and if I see in some scenario my right is becoming more than left. Okay. So, in that case we are going to reset our value left and right to 0. Okay. So, let me show you one example where it will be helpful. Okay. So, let us go back to our board, and I can see that suppose I have one string, right, like this, 3 closing, then 1 opening. Okay. And then again 1 closing, something like this. Now, if we traverse from left to right, so I can see it is a closing. So, my R will become 1, then it will again, then 2, then 3. So, R will become 3 here. After that, but my L is still at 0. So, if R is 3 and R is greater than L, then and we are traversing left to right, then it is impossible, right. So, whenever I will see in any scenario my right is more than my left value, we are resetting. So, if we reset it here, whenever I will come here, again my L and R will be 0. Now, we can easily identify, right. So, to handle this kind of inputs, we need to reset it. Okay. And this is for the left to right, and we need to write the same logic, exact same logic for right to left, but in this case we will start from the end. So, we will start s dot length minus 1, and in this case we need to decrement our height, since we are traversing from right to right, and it will run till my I is greater than equals to 0. Cool. Now, again this logic will remain same, this logic will remain same, but in this case it will be the opposite one. We will check if my right is less than left. Okay. And we will update it according to that, and at the end we need to just return max length, correct, max length. Okay, I think that's pretty much. Let us quickly submit our code and see whether it is accepted or not. You can say it's throwing some error, it's saying the right, obviously it should be equals, my mistake, not minus, and similarly it should be equals. Let us quickly submit it once again and see whether it's accepted or not. Okay, it's throwing some error. Let me quickly fix it, probably. Yeah, so we are checking it, greater than equals to 0, expected 4, output is 4. Okay, 2 into left, fine. Initially my max length was 0, else we are writing, we are okay. So, once we are done, we need to reset our counter. So, once we are done with left to right, we need to reset left and right to 0 once again, correct, else it will fail. We can't use the previous left right value, right. I think that should fix the problem. Let us quickly submit the solution. Yeah, now we can say it's accepted, and we are betting 100% Java submission. So, if you go through this approach, we are running 2 for loop. Yeah, correct, but still it's not a nested for loop. So, our time complexity will remain order of n or linear, but we optimize the space thing, right. Here we are using only 2 variables irrespective of my input size. We are using only 2 variables, that is left and right. So, our space complexity is now reduced to order of 1, that is constant. Okay. So, hope you understand this logic. If you still have some doubt, you can ask me in the comment section, and if you like this video, if you found this one is helpful, then please do subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.